Hi, I'm Robbie, and I'm going to be talking about trust. It's one of those words, one of those topics that so many of us struggle with. Whether it be from betrayal or some type of disappointment in life, it seems like life sometimes has a way of dealing circumstances our way that causes us to distrust, most often, other people. I would guess that we've all been in some type of situation with someone that hurt us or caused us a lot of pain and disappointment. And the thought of getting in close proximity with people again is a scary thing. We end up building walls to protect ourselves. So why is it then that the Bible is so full of scriptures admonishing us to stay in community, to be in community, loving and fellowshipping with one another, being patient and forgiving, carrying each other's burdens, confessing to each other, sharpening and encouraging one another? The list goes on. Could it be that God knew that we would have these issues and need these reminders to stay in community? I'm pretty sure. I'm going to share with you a story about something that happened to me many years ago, but that had a very lasting negative effect on me for quite some time and really caused me to just guard myself and keep myself away from people that I felt would disappoint me or hurt me. Many years ago when I was in college, I worked at a small company with just a few employees, one of which was a part-time IT guy who found out that I was in the market for a computer. So he approached me and asked if he could build one for me, that he would add all the features that I wanted on it, and he would give me a really good deal. He knew that I was a single mom, and good deals made good sense for me at the time. He's my coworker, and he was attending Fuller Seminary at the time, so I figured, he's trustworthy, why not? I'll go for it. Well, a lot went wrong really quickly. Once he gave me my computer, within just a couple of short weeks, it had major problems and I couldn't get it to work. So when I looked for him, reached out to him to ask him what he would do to fix it, he started avoiding me completely, ignored my phone calls. When I looked for him at work, it turned out that he had abruptly given notice, just said it was due to his school schedule, that he was no longer going to be working there. So I was able to track down another phone number for him, but once he found out that I had it and was calling him, he pretty much disconnected it and disappeared. So I was burned. I was burned big time by a Christian. It left a really bad taste in my mouth towards all Christians. I was a newbie in Christ myself at the time and didn't have very many Christian friends. So I continued going to church, but it took me a really long time to venture back into community, let alone begin trusting again. I realize now that the enemy uses these things and really magnifies them in our eyes to make us believe that all Christians are bad and all Christians can't be trusted. And this is exactly where he wants us, alone and without community. But on the contrary, I want you to trust. Trust exactly where you are, that this is where God has you, and this is a community group he has you with. You should be doing life with them and hopefully walking alongside each other beyond the weeks of this study. But for now, I encourage you to do what Proverbs 27:17 tells us. As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. Use this time together to help build one another up and to grow in your trust in your brothers and sisters in Christ. As Hebrews 10:24 and 25 tells us, let us consider how we may spur one another on towards love and good deeds, not giving up meeting together as some are in the habit of doing, and all the more as you see the day approaching. You being a part of this community group means you are a vital part of the body. Do what you can to stay connected even between meetings, whether it be group texts or prayer walls together. Those are always nice, and there's some really cool apps that you can use to do that. My group uses WhatsApp. Or even better, schedule some coffee time. Whatever it is that works for your group, do it. We here at CCV believe if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. We were made for community, and we can accomplish so much more together than we ever could apart. Even if it's difficult for you, trust where you are and that this is where God has you. God bless.
My name is Scott Zabendon.
I'm Kim Zabendon.
Been coming to CCV for about a year now. We're not new to church, but we are new to CCV. Been married for 36 years. been in love with each other for about 37 years. I think when God calls you to a place, sometimes you go into it and He takes you there for a reason. And I think we've gone through a lot of stuff in our lives, personally, financially, all kinds of different reasons. And I think God's brought us to this place for a reason. And we want to see God use us in this church. So we lost our life savings that I saved for 32 years, and we lost all of it to an investor. We had to sell our house that was our forever house, and move in and downsize to a smaller house. Well, God told us the right thing to do was to sell our house and pay off our bills and live the life the way that God planned it.
And at the same time that this all happened, that's when we found CCV.
We're people who got married 36 years ago. We've been tithing for 36 years. We've never stopped, and we won't stop. So even through this devastation of this process, we won't ever stop giving to God, and especially when He asks us to do stuff. And we're okay with that. We've always trusted God, and He's never let us down, ever, ever. Even through the loss of our finances, that wasn't God letting us down. That was people. It's hard sometimes. It's not easy in life to say yes. Sometimes it's easier to say no. Sometimes I don't want to listen to God, and I just want to, because I know He's going to ask me to do something sometimes. I don't know if you guys feel that, but I feel that sometimes. But it's so much more rewarding when you do say yes to God. What a blessing to be able to pay it forward. We have to do that as Christians because there's another generation coming behind us and another generation coming behind them.
I don't question it anymore. I just say, okay, God, I'm all in. To us and to me, it's just my lifestyle again.
The tithe check is the first check we write every month. We've learned that from the past. We've learned that from history. That's the first check I write out every month. And we've done it for 37 years now, 36 years, and have never stopped. But we're giving the money to God. I'm not giving the money to a campaign.
It's God's money anyway.
We're not giving it to a campaign thing. We're giving it to God. God does what He wants with it. It's His business. It's not ours. It's our business to be faithful, to be obedient, and to do what He's asked us to do. And that's all we want to do. If we do that, we're going to be successful. Stepping out in faith is not a one-time thing. We have to step out on that water from that boat more than one time. We have to step out in different areas of our lives. And I think it started for us 38 years ago when we fell in love with Jesus. We've never stopped looking back. We've tried to do all the things that His Word says for us to do and try and follow it to the best of our capability. Does that mean we always do the right stuff? Probably not. Does it mean we do some good stuff? Yeah, I think it does. So I think it was just falling in love with Jesus and continue to fall in love with Jesus and to show other people you can fall in love with Jesus too, just like we did. I think people really need to be introduced to who Amazing Grace is, the way I know Him. And He's such an amazing God, and He's got such a heart for people that are just hurting, that need His help. So just for Him to make this community that we live in successful for Him and have it be such a testimony for the rest of the world even, to say, hey, look at these people, look at this community of people who care about other people because of the God that cares for them.